Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Yesterday, the Minister for Culture and the Arts said, and I quote, we've actually put more money into arts grants this year than we did last year. He went on to tell the columnist to check his facts and tell the truth, instead of a lot of hysterical talk. Can the Minister tell me how eliminating nearly 50% of the investment this year through gaming and planning on cutting 90% next year is more money? Or is it actually the BC Liberals who are not telling the truth and engaging in hysterical talk?
Minister of Tourism, Culture and Arts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This government's commitment to the arts is abundantly clear
Members, just take your seat, Minister. Continue, Minister.
Well, in 2008, in a single grant of $150 million, which put that money in a cultural legacy fund under the care of the BC Arts Council, we provided more funding on that one occasion, triple the funding that the NDP provided in their last 4 years as government in the 90s. We have had to make tough choices this year. Everyone knows why, and that is the dramatic reduction in revenues. Nevertheless, we have flowed $1 million more to the BC Arts Council than we did last year, and in fact, a total of almost $26 million is flowing from the province to arts organizations this year.
The member has supplemental.
I do, Mr. Speaker. I think we can see, based on this government's remarks, the Minister says there are no cuts, but then we go from $47.8 million down to $26 million, according to the Minister. That sounds like a 50% cut to me. The Minister for Culture and the Arts also said that this summer, that the arts community wasn't, and I quote, lighting their hair on fire over the cuts to the arts, when they actually had been angrily protesting for months. Now, he also says there are no cuts to arts and culture investment, when this budget clearly shows a 50% cut this year and a 90% cut next year. So if the Minister doesn't believe artists are lighting their hair on fire over these cuts, would it be more truthful to say that the Minister's pants are on fire when he claims arts funding isn't being massively cut?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The largest amount that the NDP government ever flowed to the BC Arts Council was $14.8 million.
Minister, just take your seat. Members. Continue, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The largest amount that the NDP ever flowed in a budget year to the BC Arts Council was $14.8 million. Since we've been government, the BC Liberal governments have flowed $124 million to the BC Arts Council. And that's in addition to the $150 million Cultural Legacy Fund and $25 million in a Renaissance Fund to encourage arts groups to form their own foundations with matching money. And they did that, and the result is $55 million in funds that arts groups have for permanent endowments for themselves. $55 million.
Member for Columbia River Revelstoke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Kim Cattrall, an award-winning BC actor, recently spoke out against the BC Liberals' cuts to arts and culture. saying that she likely would not have made it to where she is in her career if it had not been for government investment in the arts. Kim Cattrall said it's a cut. The minister says she doesn't know what she's talking about, but when you look at the minister's own documents, it goes from 2008-09, 47 million. Pre-election, it's 42 million. 2009, after the election, it's 23 million. Next year, it's less than 4 million. Will the minister admit that he is wrong about the cuts and that Kim Cattrall is absolutely right?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I can tell the member and his caucus that the arts group say to me it is galling to them to hear the NDP challenge our government with its vastly superior record of funding the arts and culture communities. $150 million cultural fund for BC 150, $25 million Renaissance Fund, $124 million in grants since we've been in government. The BC Liberals are delivering far better funding to the arts community during a worldwide recession than the NDP did during a North American economic boom. And it is absolutely preposterous for them to speak this way.
The member has supplemental.
You must be kidding. The documents are right here. The documents that the minister signs off on. It goes from 47 million to 42 million pre-election. After the election, it's 23 million. Next year, it's 4 million. And the minister stands up and tries to convince anybody that that's accurate. It's not. Sarah McLachlan calls the BC government cuts, a tragedy. The artists ranging, it's not just Kim Cattrall, it's Douglas Coupland, Brian Jungen, they all are speaking out against the government. These are cuts. How does the minister, supposedly of culture and the arts, justify a 90% cut to arts funding?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. During the toughest economic times that we've seen in our lifetimes, we were able this year to flow $26 million to arts and culture. The arts community expresses appreciation for our ability to fund them over the 8+ years that we've been government, and we'll put our record up against the NDP's any day of the week.
Bell ends.